Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Naufika binti Amalufi. Today I want to present my research paper which is about the factor that contribute taxpayer satisfaction towards the e-filing system in Sungai Petani Kedah. Next, I will present about the presentation outline that include the 5 chapter which is include introduction, literature review and conceptual, research methodology, finding and lastly discussion and conclusion. So about the background of the study, in this study I will explain about more to the e-filing system. In Malaysia, that we know all the taxpayer will submit the e-filing system or the BNCP every year in March. So e-filing system which is the easiest system because their form will submit anywhere and anytime. So about this study, I will explain more to the another presentation. So next about the problem statement. In this study, I found out with the 3 factors that contribute to the problem, which is about the tax knowledge, the security system and the efficiency system. So in Malaysia, due to the problem, especially for the government system, the taxpayer is uncomfortable with the unfamiliar items or relief that introduced by the government every year. Furthermore, about the internet connection. In the rural area, the lowest internet connection must be get for the taxpayer, so that it a little bit problem to the taxpayer to submit their form or BNCP. Lastly, about the citizen, which is the senior citizen that do not familiar with the internet or the computer basis. It also a problem to the taxpayer for the senior citizen. About the research question and research objective, I include 5 research question and 5 research objective. In the 5 research question is more about the 3 factors that I include in this study, which is about the taxpayer knowledge, the efficiency system and security system. About the research objectives is to identify or to investigate the 3 factors that I include, which is about the tax knowledge, also about the efficiency system and security system. Okay, this is about the chapter 2, which is a literature review and conceptual framework. In this chapter, I will explain about the 3 factors, include the taxpayer satisfaction. So about the taxpayer satisfaction, in the study is according to the ISHA, is about the satisfaction or frustrated of the customer come from the experience, which is it come for the experienced taxpayer itself. So next about the tax knowledge, according to the another researcher, the researcher consolidate how the education can improve the tax compliance among the taxpayer. So about the security system, was right by the Campbell. It guaranteed that the security system will increase the taxpayer confidence to submit their form. So about the efficient system, as stated by the Obert, the researcher find out that the primary of the problem towards the e-filings is about the efficient system to the taxpayer. Efficiency system is play the important role to the taxpayer, especially at the rural area. So the last one is about the information quality. According to the researchers, Karagul, the quality of the information meets the need of the customer and empower them to effectively perform their works through the information and information system. For the conception framework, it divided by 2, which is independent variable and dependent variable. For the independent variable, it include the 3 factors, which is the tax knowledge, security system, and efficiency system. And another dependent variable is about the taxpayer certification. For the hypothesis, it also include the three factors, which is the factor that contribute to the taxpayer certification towards the e-filing system, which are between the tax knowledge, efficiency system, and security system. So next to the chapter 3 about the research method. The research method that I use is a quantitative research, which is a questionnaire. For the research design, I use the hypothesis testing unit of analysis that I use for the taxpayer that live in Sungai Petani, Kedah. For the sampling size, I do for the 100 people or 100 taxpayer that live in Sungai Petani. For the sampling technique that I use is about the cluster technique. For the data collection, I use the Google Form questionnaire. According to the COVID-19 pandemic, only the Google Form questionnaire the best choice for I to collect my data. Lastly, about the data analysis, I use the SPSS, reliability test, descriptive analysis, Pearson correlation, and regression analysis. So next about the chapter 4, demographic profile. In this demographic profile, I use 8 profile about the taxpayer. It includes the age of the taxpayer, the gender, the race is about the Malay, Chinese, and Indian, the marital status, the family size, the income level that measure the income tax for income level of taxpayer, the education, and lastly about the occupation. So about the descriptive analysis is about the dependent variable. For the n value is a number of the sampling site, which is 100 taxpayer that live in Sungai Petani that fill up my data. For the minimum value is 1 and the maximum value is 5. So the mean is average between the 4.12 and the highest is about 4.24, which means the stronger of the data, and the standard deviation also above the 0.8. Is about the correlation statistic between the taxpayer certification and taxpayer knowledge. We can see in this table, p-value of this correlation is 0 and the r value is 0.617. It means that the alternate hypothesis has been accepted, which means that the relationship between the taxpayer certification and taxpayer knowledge have been done, and it's a moderate relationship. Correlation statistic between the efficiency system and taxpayer certification. In this table also, we can see that the p-value is 0, but the r value is the highest, which is 0.750. It means that the hypothesis have been accepted. It signified that the relationship between the efficiency system and taxpayer certification have a strong and positive relationship. For the last factor is about the correlation statistic between the security system and the taxpayer certification. In this table also, we can look at the p-value is also 0. For the r value is the highest one, which is 0.720. It conclude that the hypothesis have been accepted, and the relationship between the security system and the taxpayer certification have the strong and positive relationship. For the last chapter is about the recommendation. For the first point is about the more exposed on the tax knowledge towards the taxpayer. The government also have to more explanation and importance of the tax return towards the taxpayer, especially in television, radio, and Facebook and Instagram. So the taxpayer will provide more tax education in this media social. For the next point is about the improving the system. The government should improve the infrastructure that support the internet coverage across the country for the electronic e-filing to be a success, especially in the rural area. I also have the limitation of this study is about the data collection. I limited to collect the data collection by face-to-face towards the taxpayer because of the COVID-19 pandemic, also with the MCO COVID-19. Furthermore, about the responding feedback, which are related not more accurate because of their character, about their attitude towards the respondents. Then lastly, about the researcher methodology. So I only use the quantitative methodology that have a limited for this study. In conclusion, from the finding, that can be concluded that relationship in the independent variable, which is a tax knowledge, efficiency system, and security system, and the dependent variable, which is a taxpayer satisfaction. Therefore, all the hypotheses in this research have been accepted. So I will end this presentation with a lot of thank you to my panel.